Apple TV Plus's Severance has been a huge hit among fans. The mind-bending mystery at the center of the show means that the audience is always kept engaged. And as you'd expect, the internet has come together on Reddit to post juicy theories. Some of these are so good that the creator of Severance had to stop reading them. In this video, we'll tell you all about it and more. Firstly, the creator talked about fan theories at SDCC. The San Diego Comic-Con 2022 was really a back to form for a lot of fandoms, and one of the newest ones that formed just this year. Severance's managed to make a huge splash. Their panel had series guests, including the creator and writer Dan Erickson, along with executive producer Ben Stiller, and the stars of the show. They talked about a whole range of things, before eventually coming on to everyone's favorite topic, fan theories. Erickson, while wanting to keep the details of Season 2 light, stated that he didn't want to get into the specifics of the season, but he said that every now and again, he'd come across a theory that was actually better than what he'd planned. During the panel, he admitted that he started opening Reddit every single day for a little while and eventually realized he just had to stop. He was pretty much addicted to reading fan theories and knew that could only lead to trouble. The creator behind the show states that as they're now in the writing process for the second season, there's really no limit to the choices that can be made, and because of that, it's very likely that he's going to find an idea that he really likes, even in later stages of development, and at that point, he's sure to be kicking himself for not having included that specific theory or idea earlier, which can lead him to second-guessing himself. With all this in mind, we definitely understand why Erickson had to take a break from reading these theories. Sometimes the fans are just too good. Plus, you'll be surprised to know he's not the only writer with this policy on fan theories. While Erickson choosing to stop reading fan theories may seem a bit too extreme to some, the fact is that George R.R. Martin has a very similar policy. During an interview back in 2019, the fantasy writer stated that he used to read theories a long time ago, but much like Dan, had to give up doing so. Martin added that while a good portion of the theories were amusing just because of how bad they were, many others were genuinely clever. So much so that they started making the creator of Game of Thrones wonder if he's making the right choices with the story. Some theories were so accurate that they guessed a plot point that he hadn't even revealed until way later in the books. In such a case, George states that there's only two options left for the writer. Either the writer continues to go ahead with the original idea they had, realizing that some people will have already guessed it ahead of time, or they can panic and change the course of the narrative at the last second. And he definitely thinks that the second choice here is a huge mistake. In the interview, he states that there's a lot that goes into making a compelling twist or story arc. There's foreshadowing and development that can sometimes take years to really take place. So, if you were to read fan theories and change things midstream, it's likely to lead to retcons and make the whole story worse. Because of this, the writer has sworn off fan theories since early as 1998. Moving on, what will Season 2 of Severance be about? If you've been reading some of the juicy stuff that gets posted onto Reddit, thinking, this makes so much sense, it just has to be true. Well, it looks like that's no longer going to be the case. But just what'll Season 2 be about then? Well, during the SDCC panel, Dan stated that he loves to write about science fiction that's also getting into the social elements of something, the idea of how technology, especially futuristic ones, can affect people, and so he wants to take Season 2 in that sort of direction, while continuing to build the world of Severance a little more. He wants to add some futuristic tech into the mix and see how that would shake things up. From the looks of it, Severance seems to be based in current times, but that doesn't mean there isn't a whole range of scientific advancement going on in the offices of Lumen Industries. Hey, they've mastered the technology to split a person's brain into two, so we're sure they got something else under their sleeves. Dan is also reported to have said earlier that Season 2 will pull the curtain back on the lives of its main cast. As we saw in the finale, the main characters are finally able to take their inner self out for a trip in the real world, beyond the Lumen offices, and some of them are especially interesting on the outside, with Helly being Helena Egan. While we've seen a lot of Just Mark's outer self in Season 1, the second season promises to show us more of the rest of the cast too, and we're excited to see what this will mean for the series moving forward. Next, we can't help but talk about the best theories fans came up with. While Erickson may have entirely different plans for Season 2, we can't help but look at some of the best fan theories to see just what you're all coming up with, and prepare to be amazed, because you'll soon see just why the show's writer had to take a step back from reading these online. One of the most popular theories is about how the data refiners in the series aren't refining data at all. Instead, Instead, they're all part of a massive experiment. They've been given some busy work so they have something to do, but the real data is themselves. Now that's deep. According to this theory, the characters would basically be lab rats in a larger science experiment, and with how the entire Lumen Industries office seems to be built like a maze, we're thinking this theory makes a little too much sense. Another theory aimed to look into how the Egan family might be involved in the whole thing. A Reddit user posted about how they might be working to keep the Egan family immortal. The main goal is to sever the consciousness of a person and to implant it into another, more younger body. This would basically allow them to live forever, in theory. Some fans even think that Lumen might be trying to resurrect Keir Egan, the founder of the company, with his belief system being firmly cemented in the company's DNA. Even decades after his death, they may be working to bring him back to life. See, we weren't kidding when we said these theories were seriously good. And so, when can we expect to see Season 2? Unfortunately for eager fans who've just about run out of fan theories to read up on, it looks like you'll have to wait a bit more before Season 2. The series is still currently in the writing process for the season, and with how tightly written and edited the show is, we expect this process to stretch out for months. Quality takes time, people. Executive producer Stiller confirmed that shooting should begin sometime in October 2022 and will likely go on till May 2023, as long as there's no delays or other issues. After this, the series will head into a period of post-production, which again can take months, especially for a show as well edited as this. So, if we had to place our bets, we'd expect to be seeing Season 2 sometime in late 2023 or even early 2024. Because of the long wait, some fans have even been joking about wanting the severance process in the show to be real, so they can just switch personalities until the next season is out. Where do we sign up? Lastly, for fans who absolutely can't wait for more Severance content, we've got a surprise. If you're like us and the year-long wait is just too much to bear, we might have something to scratch that Severance itch you got. The writers behind the show actually released a short story based on the series over at Apple Books called The Lexington Letter. The short story tells the tale of a desperate woman who risks everything to expose the evil company at the heart of the show. Much like the main cast of Severance, Peg, who's the protagonist of this short story, realizes that Severance procedure isn't all that she thought it'd be, and she works to expose Lumen while bringing to light some seriously dark revelations about corporate America. This short story is currently available for free over at Apple Books, and as far as we know, it's completely canon to the main narrative. So, if you really can't wait to learn more about the uniquely mysterious world of the series, we highly recommend checking it out. That's a wrap for this video. What's the best Severance fan theory you've come across online? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See ya in the next one.